This video is going to be a little bit different overall, just because there's no script, there's no video that I'm replying to. This is just me babbling on for a little bit about something that I really care about, and I am curious to see what people have to say. To be completely upfront, I'm about to share something with you that my parents don't know, that my siblings don't know, that many of my friends don't know, and I am pretty scared to do it, to be honest, but I want to. Hi, I'm Michael, and I am pansexual. That essentially means that the pool from which that I pull my potential romantic or sexual partners is larger than that of the average straight person. So where a straight male, for example, would see about half of the human population, all the women on Earth, as their pool from which to pull potential partners, the pansexual doesn't actually set that limitation between genders. There are no rules. There is no specification as to what the person has to have between their legs, for example, or what the person has to identify as in order to see them as a potential romantic or sexual partner. Or another way you could put it is that I simply am attracted to not only men or women or non-binary people, but essentially everything on the spectrum. The result from this is that things like physical attraction and personality play a very large role in determining which of these people are potential romantic or sexual partners. Why should you care that I'm pansexual? Why should you care at all that I like men, trans women, and all of that? Well, you shouldn't. You really shouldn't care. It probably plays absolutely no relevance to you unless you live around the corner and you really like me. So why, if my family doesn't know, if my friends don't all know, am I sharing publicly on the internet that I'm pansexual? Well, I'm sharing it with you because I've decided to be a little bit more personal on this channel, to be more honest and forward with who I actually am, rather than trying to paint some picture for the people who manage to find their way to this channel. And not just on YouTube. I want to be more myself in my daily life. I want to embrace the person that I actually am and stop constantly shifting my mask so that other people see me the way that I want them to. Constantly shifting my personality and my interests and putting more weight in certain areas just to please people. A people pleaser is, I think, what I've tried to be for a large part of my life, because for the earlier parts of my life, I was very lonely and wanted nothing more than to fit in with people. And the more I tried to bash myself into that state of fitting in with people and being just like them or complimenting their personalities or whatever that it was, the more I realized that I was pushing myself further and further from anything that had to do with myself. There was no sense of identity in the person who would just change colors like a chameleon depending on what backdrop he was up against. If I'm going to spend hours of my week making YouTube videos, I want to be a little bit more honest and open and have this, even if my real life doesn't work like that, be the channel of truth, of honesty, of the most sincere opinions, the most sincere thoughts that I have. I want them to be here, right here, for everyone to see. I know for a fact that there are other pansexual people out there who are experiencing right now what I experienced in the early days of my sexual discovery. I remember that a couple of my friends had this terrible habit of constantly saying the word faggot. Like, as a joke, of course, it was a joke, but they would just say it all the time. It became shorthand for bro, for friend, for homie, whatever. It was just the word, and I just started to hate it. What was once maybe something that we all were able to laugh about had become something that filled me with dread. The idea that every time I would have to spend time with the few people I actually like and trust, they were going to put me in that position where I felt uncomfortable. And the only way it seemed to free myself from that situation was to come out and be honest with them and tell them that I felt affected by this word. And eventually that's exactly what happened. I snapped one day when they were saying it, and I just said, stop. Just fucking stop. Finally, for the love of God, can you not? Just quit saying it. Say anything else. Why? Because I think at the time I said bisexual. over time, I found that that actually extends a little bit further than I thought at first. But yeah, I felt the need to come out just to get them to stop. And I was lucky in that situation because these were friends of mine, people who I trusted, people who I wanted to tell the truth in the first place. Many of the people who I have situations like this with are not people I'm comfortable sharing my sexual identity with, you know? But like I said, I want to change that. I want to change things drastically because it's really easy to just sit on our hands and wait for things to get better. But the people who are changing the world right now when it comes to LGBT rights are the people who are standing up and making an effort to make clear where they stand. I like men. I like trans men, trans women. I am attracted to all kinds of people, and nothing that you say will ever affect me the way that it has up until now, because the truth is out there now. People know, and if people come at me now with this shit, now I have the confidence I need. I want to change things. I want to take control of my life and be more honest with the people around me. If I had told my friends that the word made me uncomfortable from the start, they probably would have never made such a habit of using the word faggot in the first place. It's the intimidation to come out that inevitably led me into this position. It's being open and honest with my sexuality that's going to lead me to being happy with myself and who I am. And I live a very privileged life that I have the opportunity to walk out that door and tell people the truth without worrying that I'm going to get thrown in prison, without worrying that I'm going to be thrown out of my family, without worrying that the religion that I adhere to is going to basically shun me. The world is my oyster. I'm one of many who live in a time where they have that opportunity to admit to themselves the truth about their sexuality. And not everybody's gay, and not everybody is pan, but people who are becoming more and more comfortable with the idea of telling people the truth. And I'm one of them. I want people to know, because I used to feel like if people identified me as this pansexual, they would put me in a box with all of the liberal snowflakes. And I was scared of that too. I was scared of being put into that box and basically pushed out as a social outcast. But the truth is that that wouldn't have happened. If I had only been honest and confident, maybe things would have been different. Maybe I would have felt more comfortable in my own skin, telling people who I am, admitting to myself what I am. But there's no point in dwelling on the past. I have my whole life ahead of me, and I intend to spend it in my own skin. I want to spend it comfortable and confident. I want to spend it standing upright for the things that I care about. And one of those things is this. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to come out, tell the truth, make it clear before it swallows me up from the inside. And who knows, maybe this really will change everything. Maybe it'll change the way that people see me. Maybe people will judge me. That's fine. It's okay. I'm okay with other people being other people, as long as I can be myself.